Hey, welcome back everybody. Roger here from O'Reilly Auto Parts to talk to you about wiper blades and how they're made so that when the time comes for you to buy replacements, you can make a more informed decision. Before I get too much into that, I want to give you an opportunity to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already so that you don't miss out on any of our new content. So when you go into an O'Reilly Auto Parts store, you're going to see a lot of wiper blades, and that can be a little overwhelming, but we don't want you to feel overwhelmed. We want you to make a good decision. So the first thing you need to do is determine which blades are going to fit on your vehicle, and there are few ways to do that. The first is to take measurements of the actual blades themselves. Another way you can do it is to put your vehicle information into O'ReillyAuto.com and get a list of blades that'll work for your vehicle. Many of our stores also have a wiper blade kiosk that you can use, or just talk to one of our parts professionals at the counter. They'd be happy to help you. So your first option is the conventional blade. It's an entry-level budget blade, and it's sometimes called a bracketed blade because of the way that it's built. You can see here there's an arm that goes across the back and brackets that come off. And those brackets are what cause the spring action that keep that blade in consistent contact with the windshield. The problem with the conventional blade is, as it wears out, you'll get pressure points where these brackets come down, which can cause streaking as the blade itself wears out. Also, you see this space right here? That's where snow and ice can get packed in icy weather, and it keeps that spring action from keeping the blade against the windshield, which is not good. It'll keep it from working as well as it should, which is why you might consider in the winter months using the winter version of the same blade. It's essentially the same blade, only it's got the rubber sheath over the length of it to keep snow and ice from getting in here, which allows that spring action to leave the blade in consistent contact with the windshield through the icy months. Your second option is the beam blade, which is not just the latest, greatest technology in wiper blades, it's also the blade with the coolest name, and it looks the best. Now, as you can see, as soon as you pull it out of the package, it's got this nice curve to it. That's because it's constructed with a single piece of spring steel that runs the entire length of the blade. It just helps it stay in contact with the windshield better. Also with the beam blade, you've got this nice spoiler that runs down the length of it. So if you're driving at highway speeds or faster, where a conventional blade might chatter or skip while you're using it, that spoiler helps keep the windshield wiper in firm contact with the windshield. So let's put the conventional blade right next to the beam blade so you can really see the difference between these two. First of all, you're not going to get the same sort of pressure points and streaking from the beam blade as you do from this conventional blade because they're made differently. This blade isn't a contoured blade, and it doesn't have a spoiler, which means it's more likely to chatter and skip, where the beam blade, because of the spoiler, is going to stay in better contact with the windshield. Also, as you can see on this blade, there's no place for snow and ice to get packed in, which makes it a better overall blade. Which leads me to the last blade that we'll talk about, which is the beam winter blade. So when we look at these two blades next to each other, the beam blade and the winter beam blade, there's not a whole lot of difference that you can see because they're made in almost exactly the same way. They both have the spring steel, they both have the spoiler. The main difference is that the winter blade is heavier construction so that it'll withstand the extreme conditions of winter better than the beam blade. Also, don't forget to change your rear wiper blade. It's an easy thing to neglect, but if you do, it will affect your visibility and it could damage your back glass. Now, when it comes time to install your blades, there are all kinds of different attachments to the wiper arms on your vehicle, but you don't have to worry about it at all because if you buy them from us, we're going to install them for free. In addition to having a great selection of wiper blades, we also carry a number of other products to help keep your windows clean and your visibility clear. Okay, so just a brief summary of all these wiper blades, starting with the rear blade. Main thing there is don't forget that you have one. Change it on a regular basis. The conventional blade is an entry-level budget blade, not great for winter months because snow and ice can get packed in there and keep it from functioning the way it should. The winter version of that blade has a sheath over it to keep snow and ice from getting in, so it's good for the winter months. The beam blade is the best all-season blade. It's made with the latest technology. It's got the spring steel from one end to the other. It's got the spoiler. Both of those things help keep it in consistent contact with the windshield. And the winter beam blade is a sturdier version of the same thing. It's made with the spring steel and the spoiler, but it's made to withstand extreme winter conditions. All the products I've talked about today are available at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us on social media or stop by a store. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. We'll see you again soon.